trace. So the next thing I'm going to do is, now I haven't done that this part, I'm going to show you how to place the roof. So I'm going to remove this. I'm done with this. So before I do that, let me just pick this, copy the section line, copy, and then place it here. Good. So I'm going to place it there, and then next thing I'm going to do is to move this away. I'm done with that. And then, so what I'm going to do now is to offset 600. Let me use this. Offset 600, and then offset to the right like this. Then pick the roof, copy the roof. Let me copy it, and then bring it down here. So let me pick it here. Like I have something to trace it along. So let me just drop it on this part like this. Good. So that it is easily traceable, right? So the next thing I'm going to do is copy this part and put it here to get the entire roof. So if you look down to the roof now, to the section, I can see I have an extension of 600 on both parts, right? Now I'm going to draw a line here because I need to trim some part of this wall out, which is going to trim this part, not needed. Delete these ones so it won't interfere when you are trying to trace out the particular roof. So what I'm going to do now is to trace the part of the roof. Now instead of starting here, I'm going to start from here. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to pick the section cut like this. So I'm tracing out this line here. Copy this, right? Copy it, and then trace this side too. Trace this point. Now it's cutting through this roof part, so I'm going to copy that, and then the last one. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. So we are tracing this edge, this point, center point here, the edge here, the center of this line, and then the last one, which is this. We've already traced that out. So because the section line is cutting through the roof like this, right? So now let's continue. So I've done that and I've established that. So now don't forget we have what we call the fascia board here, which is 300. So I'm going to show that. So I'm going to offset 300 upwards here. Okay, so to establish what we have here. So next I'm going to do, remember we have this particular part of the roof, so I'm going to, instead of drawing, I'm going to copy this so we have something similar. I don't want it to be different, so I'm going to copy this here. So I have the same angle, we have the same angle for our job. So we have this angle, so we can literally say we have the same angle on the other side too. So let me just look for, like I said, center point now to mirror this. So so mirror that so that we have the same angle. There we start our work. Now you can see this particular edge here, this particular edge, and this particular edge. If you trace it down, you can see that they are meeting at this particular point, which is good. Now the next thing is this one, this particular line here. We are going to show it here too, right? So I'll pick my line. Don't let the plenty line confuse you. It's a simple something. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to show from this edge down to this edge, right? So I'll copy this particular line, copy, and then pick this point and then drop it here. Now if you look at it critically, it's looking more or less like this, but in another way, because we are cutting through a section, right? Now the next thing I'm going to do is to extend this line to touch this, right? So I'm going to go to extend and extend this one. Now I can see I've extended it. Now the next thing I'm going to do, now this particular one here, this particular line, so I'm going to do it to touch this center point to here. So I'm going to extend this one. I'll extend this. So I'll go to extend and then extend this now you can see they are meeting at a point. Now don't mind, sometimes you have something like this, so you have to look at, you can see I have to go and check this to make sure everything is in place because it's not getting to the right point. So I'm going to move this backwards, move, so that I can have, now you can see even the way, even as much as I moved it backward, I'm still having some little hiccups like that. So I'm going to find a way to resolve that. So let's see if probably if I can move this down and see how it's going to work here. So you can see it's not picking the right position. So definitely I'm just going to look for a way to make that up. Let's see. And I don't want to change the angle because it might affect what I really want to do. So I'm going to mirror this and see, okay, if it's going to, let's see, extend towards this direction. Still not picking that side. Okay. Okay, let's see what can be done about that. So I'm going to see, let me move it towards this side. Oh, sorry. Okay, so let me just extend this here, though we're having plus or minus error here, but let's just use it for basically this class. So I'm going to delete this. So we have this like this. The next thing I'm going to do now is to work on this part. So I'm going to trim this. This is not needed now. Here, trim this, delete this. Okay, I'll delete that, delete this one too, don't need it. Okay, trim this part. You can't see the fisher board inside, so trim this. Okay, so now the first thing I'm going to do is to show the wall plate. There's a particular timber that sits on the wall, so it is called a wall plate on this. So I'm going to pick my line and draw the wall plate. Now I'm going to use 100 millimeter by 100 millimeters for my wall plate. So I'm going to use it, this, you can see it, right? So next thing I'm going to do, let me just use the roof material. So I'm going to copy it, pick it at the center point here, see if I can drop it at the center point here, or let me just try as much as possible to get the center point. Okay, let me use something like this. I think this will be much more easier for me. So I'll copy this. I'm going to delete that later. I just want to I want to use it to establish the center point. So after using that, I'm going to remove it. So I'll pick the wall plate. And then I'll copy it and then drop it here on the center point of the wall. Good. So I'll do that. Now I've established that. Now I haven't done that. I'm going to show another timber sitting on this wall plate. It's called the tie beam. So I'm going to establish that. Then I'm going to place that on the particular part of the job I'm working on, right? So the next thing I'm going to do is to show that. So I'm going to use a tie beam 100 millimeters. So I'm going to drag it here towards the direction and then offset 100 and extend this. So go to extend and extend this part. just trying to extend it. Okay, good. So I'll trim some parts that are not necessary. I'll trim it out. So I'll trim this side. Okay, I know why. I'll trim. Don't worry. I'll make corrections for that. Trim. Okay, so I think these dimensions are covering some part of my trim, so I'm just going to move it down. Okay, then all right, so I haven't done that. I don't need this anymore, so I'm just going to remove them. Deleting this. Good. I don't need this too. Delete. Okay, I've established that. I'm going to remove this too. Don't need it. Okay, let me just remove this first. Now, next thing I'm going to do is to show just the thickness of the roofing sheet. So I'm going to use just 20 mm for that, just to show thickness of the roofing material. Okay, so I'm going to join this. I'm going to join this. Join them. Okay. Oh, sorry. Let me use fillet or chamfer. Let me see. Good. Do the same for. Okay. So I'm just going to join that side. I'm just trying to show thickness of the roof. So I'll remove these two. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is so let me just match property for this side. Match property.